So what I have in front of me today is not what I'm going to talk about today, really, but I need these to explain what I'm going to talk about. These are all, of course, Jabba the Hutt plushes made by different companies, actually, sort of, anyway. The first one, I believe, is this one right here. This was made by Underground Toys in around 2013 or so. And this is a talking plush, so if you push a little button here, he goes through and says various lines. I think there's about 4 of them. Unfortunately, they're from A New Hope, I think, and not anything from Return of the Jedi, but, you know, it's still kind of a cool feature. Then Underground Toys also put out a little mini version, which I think is adorable right here. And as I understand it, Underground Toys was eventually bought by Funko of the Funko Pop fame, and they put out this thing in Japan, I think only in Japan. It's a bag clip that's, you know, designed to go on your backpack or something along those lines. It says, "Onaka o to shaberu yo," push my belly and I'll talk. But it's just the same sounds that we heard from this one. And then in the back we have a Halloween greeter from Jemmy that is a bit of a different design, but clearly inspired by, I mean, the face in particular is basically exactly the same. The rest of it is a little bit different, but you can certainly see a family resemblance here. Now, why am I showing you all of this? Well, I was searching on eBay a little while ago, as I do most days, for Jabba the Hutt items that I don't own, and there's not really a lot of it left that I don't already have. So when I see something I've never seen before, I really sit up and take notice. And that happened just a couple weeks ago. I found this auction by someone who was just selling sort of random toys and plushes and things of that nature. It said Jabba the Hutt plush, and there was just one picture, no other information, but I knew the moment I saw it that it had to be, well, I'll get to what it had to be in just a second, but it had to be something kind of special. And so I decided to go ahead and buy it. It was a buy it now. And even though the people wanted kind of a ridiculous amount for shipping, I went ahead and bit the bullet and bought it. Now, when it arrived, I was happy to find out that I believe I was correct in what that thing was. So without any further ado, let me present it to you right now. So this is what arrived in the mail. And where do I begin? Well, the moment I saw it, I noticed a couple of things. First of all, it had this interesting tray on the bottom, which I had seen, I recalled, in a photo of this toy. This toy, if you bought it from like a retail store, would have come in a tray exactly like that, as you can see in this photo here. And even though I didn't have one, mine I bought online and it was just, you know, sent in a plastic bag, I could tell that this, you know, was basically identical, if not identical, and that it was also an older design. You know, this design with Vader here on the side and the logo and all that, they changed that basically every year. So I knew also that this was not just some new product that was showing up. Because one thing you have to be a little bit careful about, at least I do, when I see something online on eBay that I've never seen before that just kind of shows up out of the blue, sometimes what that means is that it's a new product that is just now hitting stores and someone has started to retail it, and for one reason or another I happened to find out about it for the first time through eBay. I've had that happen many times. And if that is the case, you don't necessarily want to, you know, move heaven and earth to buy that product because, you know, you don't want to overspend if it's just going to be something that's available on Amazon in a month or two. But I could tell in this case that it was something older, not something that was just coming out. Of course, what attracted my attention right away was this face here. I had never seen a Jabba plush like this. There's just something about it that is really off-putting to me. I don't know what it is exactly. We've got this mouth that kind of opens somewhat, right? Not real deep, but it does open. He's got thick lips, and a big nose. And this nose in particular does not look anything like Jabba's nose, in my opinion. He's got these eyes, which, I mean, they are sort of the same style of eye that Jabba should have, but they seem really simple. Like, you know, I mean, they may very well be just sort of a stand-in kind of eye, whereas if you look at what they used for the actual final plush, you see that's a lot more involved and, you know, works a lot better, in my opinion. But the real star of the show, of course, is this tongue here, which looks for all the world like a cigar sticking out of his mouth. It's really quite strange. It's sewn into place here, so it, you know, it's always in this position. But man, I just can't get over this face. Really reminds me of just, you know, a stereotypical fat guy with a big wet stogie in his mouth. Hey, what are you doing in my palace? Yeah, I'll throw you in the Rancor pit. I don't know. But aside from that, it definitely resembled this plush quite a bit. It has, if you can see, the same arm design, shoulder design, more or less the same top of the head design. It has also this arm and shoulder, and also the clan tattoo symbol there on both of them. The tail is a little bit different because it's got a shorter tail, if I can move it so you can actually see, a shorter tail on that one, whereas this one curls around. And then if we look on the back, it is somewhat different. It's got sort of a seam here, whereas there's no seam on this one, but it does have a pocket right here on both of them that's lined with Velcro that you can use to access a little voice box, or well, I guess I should say the actual thing you're accessing here is the battery box that holds some little cell batteries there, and it's exactly the same design in both of them. Now, I've got a little more in guard there, propping him up so he's a little easier to see. The other thing, of course, if I were to look at the bottom of the tray here, we can see, if we turn it up right side up, it does indeed say Underground Toys on it, which is, you know, the company that sold the other plush. It's got all sorts of information about the product, but no UPC symbol, which I thought was interesting. And I don't know for sure if the ones that they sold in, you know, in stores of that other design had UPC symbols here, but it seems like they would have, right? That seems a little strange not to have a UPC symbol. But beyond that, the biggest giveaway that I found was the tag. So it just says not for resale on the tag. So what does that mean? Well, I'm 99% convinced that this is just a, if not a prototype exactly, a sort of sample that Underground Toys created in the production of this one right here. And I don't know exactly what the backstory is. I'd love to know, but I do know that when they originally announced this one right here, it was called a Previews Exclusive Talking Jabba the Hutt, I believe. They actually showed a completely different design, which you can see here. It's kind of a cute design. I like to have one of those as well, but totally different design. So it's not unprecedented for designs to change quite a bit during the production process. What I'm interested to know about, though, is if this was sort of before or after that weird one that I just showed you, or, you know, what the sort of evolutionary tree there is. I don't know. In any case, how this ended up on eBay in 2020, you know, this item from 2013 or so, I don't know. I have heard of companies just sort of donating prototypes and, you know, sample items and things to thrift stores. And, you know, looking at the other stuff that the guy was selling, it looked like just sort of random used, well, new old stockish kind of stuff, I should say, that could conceivably have been in a thrift store. So my sort of working theory is that he found this in a thrift store and sold it without knowing what it was, thankfully, and probably would have tried to charge more if he had known it was unique. But, you know, that's how I ended up with it. and I was very glad to get it, certainly. So I've never actually seen this version before anywhere, not even a picture of it. Unlike that earlier one that I showed you, the earlier previews exclusive Talking Jabba, that one does show up quite a bit if you just search for like a picture of a Talking Jabba plush or something like that. You'll get that one in the mix somewhere. But I've never found this particular one anywhere. So anyway, as a compulsive Jabba collector, I was definitely very excited to see that. I mean, it would be exciting even if it wasn't kind of related to the production of a toy that I really quite like, this other Jabba plush. Even if it was just on its own, it would be kind of cool. But the fact that it's definitely somehow related to this one is sort of the icing on the cake. Anyway, I hope I haven't gone on too long about this. You can see I'm kind of excited about it. I get excited about strange things. It's all right. But, yeah, I just thought I would share this with you. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. This video was made possible with the support of my patrons, including these Palace VIPs right here. If you'd like to help support me on Patreon, you can pledge as little as $1 a month to get access to some behind-the-scenes posts, early videos, and more. There's a link in the video description to my Patreon page, so check it out for more information. Thanks for watching!